You remember the song, but not the name behind it. In every dance, every wedding, every old-school mixtape, these reggae tunes lit up the room. And then the artists vanished from the mainstream like they were never there. Tonight, we're digging up 10 reggae one-hit wonders that sadly disappeared. The school kids who ruled the charts for one summer, the veterans who got just one global moment, and the cult anthems still running sound systems long after the artists faded from view. Before you press skip, ask yourself, how many of these forgotten legends do you actually remember?
Close your eyes and hear it again for a second. That sharp little sax line cutting through the speakers. Then a woman's voice, cool and confident, riding a club rhythm with a dancehall attitude. That's Calabria 2007. For a lot of people, it was just another massive club tune from the late 2000s. But behind it is a story that feels almost like a ghost in reggae history. The track started out as a house, club instrumental by a Danish producer. It was catchy, but it didn't really explode worldwide until they brought in a Danish-Jamaican DJ named Natasja Saad. Most people call her Natasja or Little Tasha. She jumped on the rhythm with that raw, effortless dancehall flow, and suddenly this European club track turned into something with real Caribbean fire. So, Calabria 2007 became something strange, a global hit, and a kind of memorial. I'm telling you that most casual listeners never even learned her name. They remember the sax, the hook, the club nights, but the artist, the voice, the actual human behind that energy disappeared from mainstream memory.
I am lyrically programmed to kill. 90s, I tell the world of the
Now let's step into early 90s dancehall. Big sound system, zinc fence yard, huge speaker boxes, and that one tune every selector knows will tear the place down. Hot This Year. The moment that hook drops, you can almost feel the rewind coming. The beat is simple but tough, the bass line heavy, and Dirtsman's voice rides the rhythm with that high, cutting tone that slices through any crowd noise. It's pure confidence, pure watch me now. Dirtsman came from a musical family. His father was soundman. His brother was the DJ Papa San. So this wasn't some random youth. He was growing inside the culture, listening to sound clashes, hearing what worked and what failed. When Hot This Year hit, it felt like proof that he was next in line. Dirtsman was just starting to get attention from big labels and bigger markets. Then he was shot and killed in Jamaica in the early 90s. Just like that. No long career, no long catalog for the mainstream to discover later. Just one main tune that stayed hot in people's memory.
I am lyrically ill. He's no man, me hold me tranquil.
So, Hot This Year became frozen in time. Every time a selector pulls it up now, you're not just hearing a hype dancehall anthem. You're hearing the echo of a career that never got the chance to really start. When we talk about reggae one-hit wonders, it's easy to laugh and say, oh yeah, that old tune. But for artists like Dirtsman, that one tune is also a reminder of what could have been. Time to switch scenes again. Now we're in early 90s MTV land. Big jackets, sideways caps, and a Canadian white youth chatting in heavy patois over a dancehall-flavored beat. Infirmare. You know say daddy me snow me, I go blame.
Got me bottom so informer. You know say that I'm a snow me, I go blame. I like it boom boom.
If you were around back then, you remember how strange and unstoppable Informer was. It didn't sound like anything else on pop radio. Here was a reggae dancehall style track from a Canadian artist named Snow, going straight to #1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and staying there for weeks. A lot of reggae heads had mixed feelings. Some loved the fusion. Some thought, how come a man from Toronto can take this style and go all the way to the top when so many Jamaican veterans never got that chance? But whether you loved it or side-eyed it, you couldn't ignore it. The song was everywhere: radio, TV, clubs, even schoolyards where kids tried to rap along with the tongue-twisting lyrics they didn't fully understand. And that's part of the story of reggae and dancehall in the pop world. Sometimes the song is bigger than the artist. Sometimes the moment is so huge that nothing after it can compete. So when we count down these one-hit wonders, Snow sits in that middle zone. Not a joke, not a novelty, but a guy who had one massive door kicked open and never really found another one like it.
Suddenly the internet day turns.
Think about long drives in the 90s. Car windows halfway down, sun starting to drop, radio tuned to some soft pop station, and then you hear that opening line, "Ooh, baby, I love your way." But this time it's not Peter Frampton. It's a warm, gentle reggae band called Big Mountain, turning a 70s rock ballad into a lover's rock anthem for the CD generation. This version of "Baby, I Love Your Way" is one of those songs that feels like golden light. The guitars are smooth, the rhythm is relaxed, and the vocals are soft but strong. It was on movie soundtracks, radio rotations, wedding playlists, you name it. For a while, it felt like Big Mountain were everywhere. From a reggae point of view, it's interesting. Here's a band bringing a rock classic into a reggae space and making it feel completely natural. They showed how easily reggae could carry crossover ballads. But in pop history books, they're filed under one-hit wonders, squeezed between dance pop acts and rock bands that had one big slow jam and then vanished. Still, there's something beautiful in that. If you're only going to have one giant hit, better it be a song that still makes people smile, still plays at BBQs and beach bars, and still feels like sunlight on your skin decades later. Now we reach one of the most haunting, powerful one-hit wonders in reggae history. That opening line alone is enough to pull you back into the 90s. No, 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 you don't love me, and I know now. Dawn Penn's voice is unique. There's strength in it, but also deep hurt. She first recorded a version of this song way back in the 1960s in the rocksteady era. It was built on American R&B influences, Jamaican rhythms, and that timeless heartbreak theme. Then the song kind of faded into history. Fast forward to the early 90s. The track is revived with a new, harder production. The drums hit heavier, the bass line is deeper, but Dawn's voice still sounds like someone standing in front of you, telling you the truth you don't want to hear. Suddenly, the world is paying attention. The new version becomes a massive international hit. It charts, it plays on MTV, it gets remixed, sampled, and versioned to death. Here's the twist, though. Out of all the one-hit wonders on this list, this might be one of the most eternal. The song never really left. You still hear it in films, DJ sets, samples and new tracks, covers by younger artists who weren't even born when it first dropped. It's a heartbreak anthem that refuses to age. So when we talk about one-hit wonders that sadly disappeared, Dawn Penn sits in a different place. She didn't vanish as a person or as a working artist. But the industry, the charts, the mainstream, they only gave her one big chance, one big spotlight moment. Before we had the internet pushing things viral, we had moments like this. 5 school kids from Birmingham, England, stepping out in big caps and school uniforms, and suddenly the whole world is singing along with them. Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side.
Music make me jump and prance. Give me the music, make me looking at the dance.
If you grew up in the 80s, that hook lives in your head forever. It's one of those songs that can flip your mood in 2 seconds. You hear the first few notes and you're back in front of a TV, watching music shows, seeing these young black kids from the UK holding their own in a pop world that didn't always make space for them. And so musical youth became locked in time. For the mainstream world, they are always frozen at that moment on stage. A big drum kit, bright jackets, those young faces, that unforgettable hook. Yet every time Pass the Dutchie plays at an 80s party, a retro night, or on some throwback playlist, it quietly reminds you of something important.
Give me the music, make me jump and prance. Give me the music, make me
Reggae didn't just travel through hardcore roots and ganja anthems. It also came through kids, through joy, through simple choruses that crossed borders without trying too hard.
To find out what was going on.
One giant hit, a lifetime of nostalgia, and a group that, in pop history, disappeared almost as fast as they arrived. Now picture this. 2 teenage girls from Jamaica walking into a male-dominated reggae scene, voicing an answer tune over a classic rhythm, and by a twist of fate, ending up at #1 in the UK. That's the story of Uptown Top Ranking. The track rides on a foundation built from older songs, the I'm Still in Love, 3-piece suit lineage, that classic lovers rock, roots groove you've heard in so many different versions. But Althea and Donna brought something fresh to it. Teenage attitude, fashion talk, and pure confidence. From the moment the tune starts, it feels like a conversation between best friends. They're not begging anyone's approval, they're just boasting, vibing, talking about style, how they move, how they live. It's playful, but it's also powerful. You're hearing young black women taking up space on the mic and sounding completely at home. And yet, the song refused to die. Althea and Donna may have disappeared from the charts, but their song never truly left the culture. So when we list one-hit wonders, this one is almost a cheat. Yes, they only had one big hit, but it's an eternal one, still able to step into any dance and walk out top-ranking decades later. Go back even further now, to the early 1960s, before roots, before dub, before dancehall, to a time when Jamaican music was still finding its way to the outside world. Out of that era comes a small woman with a big, bright voice, Millie Small. My Boy Lollipop is one of those songs that sounds like pure sugar. It's ska and blue beat, fast, bouncy, full of offbeat guitar chops and a walking bass line that makes your feet move without asking. Millie's voice is high, sweet, almost childlike, but there's a sharp rhythm in the way she phrases her lines. The moment you hear it, you know, this is catchy beyond reason. Meanwhile, the song just kept living. It played on oldies stations. It appeared in films. It became a reference point whenever people talked about the first wave of Jamaican music crossing over to the mainstream. So yes, Millie Small is technically a one-hit wonder. But that one hit helped open the door for everyone who came after, from rock-steady singers to reggae legends. When you hear My Boy Lollipop, you're hearing the sound of a door unlocking. A sweet, simple tune that quietly changed music history, while the woman behind it faded into the background. Her career disappeared from headlines. Her voice, however, never stopped echoing through time.
Gangsta, excuse me, Mr. Officer, still love you like that.
Now we step into the 90s again, but with a different kind of story. Kamoze was not some overnight sensation. He'd been working in reggae long before most pop listeners ever heard his name. In the 80s, he released songs like World of Music, which hardcore fans still rate highly, especially after that Out in the Streets, they call it murder line, got reborn in the 2000s.
Don't die, yes, we multiply. Anyone press will hear the fight.
He was known as the Hot Stepper, a tall, intense figure with a distinctive voice. But then came the song that would define him forever in the mainstream. Here Comes the Hot Stepper, built on a collage of samples and influences, including the Na 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 hook from Land of 1,000 Dances. The track somehow blended reggae, hip-hop, funk, and pop into one unstoppable groove. From the moment that bass line starts, you know you're in trouble. Ini slides over it with that half-sung, half-chanted delivery, full of swagger. The funny thing is, the song doesn't age. You can drop it in a set today, and heads will still nod. People will still shout along with the na-na-na-na-na part. It's one of those perfect 90s tracks that live in the same space as big hip-hop and R&B hits, even though it comes from a reggae heart.
So we do it, man.
So yes, in the one-hit wonder book, Kamoze has a reserved page. But if you look a little deeper, you see a whole career behind that page. A man who walked for years before the world finally turned its head. Then went back to walking once the spotlight moved on. The mainstream may remember only one hit. Reggae remembers the Hot Stepper himself.
And now we reach the most underground name on this list, the one that really proves how deep reggae and dancehall one-hit wonders can go. If you were around sound system culture in the early 90s, especially on the real rock rhythm era, you might already feel it in your bones when you hear this title, Mr. Luxury, Wickedest Time, by Ronnie Thwaites. Real rock is one of those immortal reggae rhythms. Simple, driving, instantly recognizable. It's like a canvas every DJ and singer wants to paint on. Plenty of big names wrote it. But hidden among those giants is this one cut from Ronnie Thwaites that, for some people, is the standout.
For your birthday bash, you know? You see that tune now? Is that power struggling tune, you know?
When a selector drops it today in an old school set, you can always tell who really knows their stuff. A couple of people's eyes light up. Maybe someone shouts, "Wickedest Time," under their breath. That reaction is worth more than a platinum plaque. Ronnie Thwaites may have disappeared from view, but his voice still lives every time real rock spins and someone, somewhere, pulls for that one special cut. And that's the truth at the heart of this whole countdown. From musical youth's schoolyard anthem to Althea and Donna's teenage swagger, Millie Small's early ska sugar, Kamoze's global hot step, and Ronnie Thwaites' cult classic, these artists all share one thing. The world only gave them one truly massive moment. But sometimes, one song is enough to last a lifetime. The charts may forget their names, reggae never does. If you enjoyed this episode, then go watch this video.